This is a summary of the June 15th, 2025 edition of our online blog.
Right, you can find it online at our website www.mauicarrental.biz.
Okay, you're dreaming of that perfect getaway, maybe thinking about Maui, soaking up the sun. But then reality hits. How much is that rental car going to set you back?
Yeah, it's always the question, isn't it? And prices can be, well, surprisingly volatile. Even in a place like Maui, they fluctuate based on things that aren't always obvious.
That's exactly why we're looking specifically today into the Maui rental car market, right now, mid-June 2025.
And it looks like we've got lots of data points to sift through.
Right, so our mission here, we want to cut through all those numbers, those trends, and really pull out the most important bits for you.
Exactly. Help you understand what's actually driving the prices. You know, whether you're actively planning a trip or maybe you're just fascinated by travel economics.
Or just enjoy figuring out how these markets tick.
Yeah, totally. So let's unpack the data, see what secrets it holds for us.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so let's start with the immediate picture. What's happening right now? Here's the snapshot for the rental week that kicks off June 16th, 2025.
Right. Specifically looking at pickups from Kahului Airport OGG.
And the main headline is that for most car types, prices are actually down moderately compared to last week.
And last week was already considered pretty low.
Exactly. So we're seeing some decent drops here. Economy cars down 4% to $226 a week. That's from 6T.
Okay.
Midsize dropped 14% to $238, also from 6T. Jeeps are down 12% to $376, from Thrifty this time.
Interesting switch there.
Yeah, convertibles dipped quite a bit, 21% down to $496 back to 6T, and regular SUVs saw a big drop too, 19% down to $251 per week. Quite a few decreases, mostly moderate, across those common categories.
A pretty consistent downward trend there. But here's where it gets really interesting. A total contrast.
Okay, what's the flip side?
Two categories saw massive spikes in price. More than doubled just in the last week.
Doubled? Wow, which ones?
We're talking the bigger vehicles. So 7-seat SUVs, they shot up, get this, 102%.
Whoa, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, to $718 a week from budget. And minivans, hold on to your hats here. They surged a massive 122% to $873 a week.
122%. Good grief. That's from Payless, you said.
From Payless, yeah. I mean, those aren't small bumps. Those are huge jumps for the people movers.
It's fascinating. And here's a potential reason for those specific spikes cued in the larger vehicles.
Yeah, what's the theory?
It could be reflecting the seasonal summer increase in family travel. Maybe larger groups, families with kids, are starting their vacations now, and that's driving up demand specifically for those bigger car types.
That makes sense. And one more thing this week, you can also see there is this real battle for market share playing out.
Oh yeah? How so?
Well, just last week, Thrifty had the lowest price across all the different car categories, which is pretty aggressive.
Right, that's a bold move.
But this week, 6T has clearly countered. They've gone even lower than last week's prices in 4 out of the 7 categories we tracked.
Okay. So a direct response, that kind of back-and-forth competition, well, that directly impacts the prices you end up seeing when you go to book.
Absolutely. So let's wrap this up. Here's the picture right now. This week mostly down, but with surprising huge spikes just for the bigger vehicles.
And you see the companies actively competing. Anything else?
It's probably helpful too, just to quickly understand where this kind of detailed week-to-week info actually comes from. How does it get compiled?
Right. The method is basically track prices every single week for 7 different vehicle categories, specifically from multiple companies at Kahului Airport OGG.
Okay, 7 categories, multiple companies.
Yeah, and this has been going on consistently since July 2024. So almost a full year. For most categories, and even longer for economy cars going back to July 2023, almost 2 years. So that gives a really valuable historical context.
Allows us to see the trends over time.
Exactly. And this week's survey, for example, included data from 14 different rental companies, pulled from major booking sites like rentalcars.com and rentals.mauicarrental.biz.
14 companies. Wow.
Yeah, so it's this consistent multi-source tracking week after week that helps to identify these changes, these trends, all the stuff we've been talking about.
Makes sense. And for more info on Maui car rental news and updates, check out the website at www.mauicarrental.biz And you can also check rates and availability and book a car for your trip to Maui.